This is Daf Yerushalmi Pesachim. In the article Oz edition, we're on Daf Pei Hey Amud Aleph. The Halacha Hey, the Mishnah, which is a few lines down from the top of the page, which in the Vilna is on Aino Beis. Halacha Hey. Ad Echon Oimer. So where do you say Hallel? Before the meal. Beis Shammai omrim ad em abonim smecha. Beis omrim ad chalom eshlemayim omayim. Which of course is the next paragraph. V'chaysim gula, then you do you finish with the bracha on the gula. The bracha is as follows: Shagalana gavus the same mitzrayim. Begin a laila zeh. Ve'eno chaysim. He doesn't sign off. He holds that it is a short bracha, therefore it doesn't have a chasima. Rekiva makes it a much longer bracha, and therefore you made it a chasima. Rekiva Omer Ken Hashem Elokeinu Yagelu Golim Aboim L'Kasei Shalom Smichim B'Minyan Yirecha Tzasim B'Avodosecha V'Lush Beis Mikdoshecha. Recall that we have. V'Sham Nocham Min HaPesachim Min HaZvachim Sheyigia Damam. I believe we say Asher Yagia Damam Hakim Ezachol Ratzam Delachal Guloseinu. We had Obtus Nafshenu, Bruch Hashem Goal Yisrael, but it's very similar to our bracha. Says more Rav Amar Mitchilot Tzich Latzchil Be'evan Ar Yeshua V'Seichem. Which beginning with the Avos. But Kach Zabichem is Avram Me'evan Ar took your father Avram Avinu from the Evan Nor V'Gomer V'Arbeh, and I increased him. But Amr Biachov V'Arb Ksiv. Says without a hey. Kama rivim asisimo. How many disputes did I make with him? Like a reeve, right? I made many disputes with him. As Kormei says, the 7 nisyonis, which I made with him. Actually, the was Yitzchak before I came Yitzchak. Davar acher, naseslo orev. I became for him an ambusher. Again, an ambush with Nisyonis. In Chata, Mitanle means Zacha Mitanle. So there's several different interpretations of this, but I think the simplest interpretation is no matter what these Surim are, which he's going to give, which Avram Binu got. They were not talking about the Nisyonis themselves, talking about the Yisurim, which Avraham Avinu had to undergo with traveling from place to place, all the difficulties with load and so on and so forth. They were for benefit for him. If he was chayte, so they benefited mechaper for his averos. If he's not chayte, so they enhance his chuyos. So the man of shach, it's a gift to him. And I see the offer of Yerushalmi. My cousin says something similar. It's not quite the Korban Eidah, not quite the Pnei Moshe, but I think that's the most glad pshat here. Okay, so as I became an Orev, I was in ambush with him with Yisur, and they were good for him. They were good for him no matter what. If his chayte is good for him, if Zacha, and meaning that he was not that he was no chatoim. He was just a Baal Chus. It's also mitan lay because Yisurim obviously are build a person and to make a person many ways better. They build character. They give you all of my blood, so on and so forth. Armalam Beis Shammai. So Beis Shammai said, this came back to our Mishnah, right? So Beis Shammai said, okay, why would you say so Mitzrayim before all the mitzvahs halayla? The Yotzi so Mitzrayim shu maskit tziyas Mitzrayim? Should we wait to deny before all the reenactment of Yetzias Mitzrayim? We're going to say Yetzias Mitzrayim. So the Korban also says those in Yotzi Mitzrayim Kodem Chatzos Gam B'Tzis Mitzrayim Kodem Achila, right? So you wait till after the Achila and after Chatzos when they actually went free in order to say B'Tzis Yisrael. Said, if they wait till the rooster crows in the morning, they're still not reaching half the gula because although they came free at night, but they actually didn't leave until during the day. Hechma is came Gula, but I don't Nigalu. So how could you mention Gula? They weren't yet redeemed. They only went out during halfway during the day. Shabbat Behiba Etzamayom Hazeh. Etzamayom Hazeh means in the central part of the day, meaning midday. Otzi Hashem is Meis of Chulei. And became Shehischab a mitzvah Marek. But rather, since he started the mitzvah, so we tell him finish it. In other words, you started saying the hollow, finish it. Obviously, we're not finishing the entire hollow, but we're finishing the first component. But that in of itself finishes the direct hollow on Tzias Mitzrayim, right? So we get to Chalo Mishlamayim Mayim. So we say finish that unit of hollow. Okay. Hesi Rabbi Abuna Bar Schera. So Rabbi Bar Schera asked, "V'loka Hiskila Kos." So it's Korban says a Beishaim Park. Shem Shaloy Margula Ad Chatzos. Don't say the Chatzos. Harkvei Skir Bekina Shayom Malkos Gulas Mitzrayim. So we already mentioned Gulas Mitzrayim beforehand. So therefore, I just have to keep it as a, so to speak, surprise. So I have Chatzos. More doesn't resolve the question. Tanya, we learned Eno Izman El B'Shlosh Regalim Bilvad. You only say Shechianu on the 3 regalim. Omer Raimona Moses Masisa Omer Kain. The Brisa says B'Chag Hamatzos Chavshos Chesukos. Sounds not doesn't mean that any other yontif. Tani, we learned Kol Kosav Mikra Kodesh. Anytime it says Mikra Kodesh, Tzorich Lasker was money. You have to mention Shechianu as well. Korban explains because Paul Sifra Shem Yom Kippurim. Shekosem Mikra Kodesh. Omrim Bain Zman. They have to say those as well. Rabbi Tanchum, Rabbi Tunchad V'Yahu, said V'Yahu, it's appropriate. Mishra Tena Bechura, somebody who sees a new fig from the new crop, a Bikurim. Shemin Etzorch Lazkir Zman, doesn't have to mention Zman. So we, of course, don't do it when we see it in the trees, we do when we eat it, but theoretically a person has to say the Shachan when he sees it. So Hare. So therefore, this is also equivalent to something fresh, something new, and therefore Yishei Shechianu in Rosh Hashanah Kippur. So the Gemara goes now into a different sugya, which is the Shli Velotis go to do, and it's just brought down here, Derech Hagav, like the Ritbaz says, and Kormei really says it too. So the it's Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim B'Yehuda Nogu Rabbi Akiva. V'Gol Nogu Rabbi Yochanan Nuri. So will be the Korban Eidah. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim Yehuda Nogu Rabbi Akiva. B'Tkil Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim. B'Tkil Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur of Yovel. Nogu B'Yehuda Rabbi Akiva. Taking Malchias. They do Tkil Rosh by Malchias. Called Nogu Rabbi Yochanan Nuri. She ain't talking Malchias. They don't show by Malchias. But how can you do that? Ikikan Lotis go to do. It's to say it's Lotis go to do. So the Korban Eidah wants to say, okay, which the Ritbaz I don't think agrees with here, that because he gives a he wants to say really this is relevant halacha daled that interesting Ritbaz. Okay, we'll see for Korban Eidah first. So he says, why is it here? Korban Eidah says, because kasher le'ech of do. So when I say masnisin kasher le'ech of do the Beishaim Akrad anybody smecho Beisal Chamishamayim Mayim you can Lotus go to do. So this is Lotus go to do like this Lotus go to over there. So it should be Lotus go to do over here. Ritbaz says interesting thing. He says here. It says that each child gets a different answer from the Arba Banim. That was an halacha dalet, right? And he asks that it's Lotis go to do to give each one a different answer. Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like a bit of Jewish, but okay, it says it. So where it says, "Amar Vasabel Yehuda b'Kagol Yehuda Yatsa," so it's not Makev. So therefore, you can have two different hugging because if you did by one or the other, it's Yotzei at least b'diavad. So too says the Korban Eidah in our Mishnah. It's not Makev since you could say the capital, not say the capital, so it's not truly to Lotus go to do. And According to Baz, you'd say that since you could actually give each child a different answer, like we taka do in our Gado, we're different in the Yerushalmi, so therefore it's not Lotis going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, what about Purim? What about Lotis going to Purim? Purim Elokim Arbos, Elokim B'chamisha Asar. So Shani D'chsiv Mishpacha Medina every year. There was part of the Ikar Takana. And not Lotis going to do, because Lotis going to do is where you have conflictual modes of behavior. But they're made, to begin with, distinct modes of behavior. And going to read Baz, he says Purim is very relevant because V'ir means that in every family you can give the 4 children the answer you want to give them. Okay, it's pretty amazing to read Baz. All right, halach above. Mazgal kos lishi. So they pour the 3rd cup, mevaracham zono, and that becomes a cup of benching. Reviv gomer of his hallow. The 4th cup you finish the hallow. Allah birkas hashir, and you say upon it the birkas hashir, which some say it's nishma, some say it's yalucha. Ashkenaz Sfarad have different minhagim. Benkos v'lo matzishtos yishta. Between these 2 cups, if you want the first and second, you can drink. Ben Shishivi Loishta, not between the 3rd and 4th. And Emaftir Achar Pesach Avi Koimon. Right, you can't eat anything after Pesach, or you can't go from Chabura to Chabura after the Pesach, as we learned previously. Yeah, I just missed. Between the 1st cup and the 2nd cup, and between the 2nd and 3rd cup, you can drink, just not between the 3rd and 4th cup. Okay. Says Mark, see, before Praos Israel, when there were disturbances, this is from Dvorah Shir, when there were disturbances in Am Yisrael, and the Bisnadiv Baruch Hashem. So the way the way the Yerushalmi evidently is laying before Pros means when the disturbances are positive. In other words, Am Yisrael goes out to war successfully. When the nation volunteers to go out to war and fight, and they're successful. He's Nadev Rosh Am. He's not Vu. Sorry, he's not Vu Rosh Am. Sorry, no. Before we said yeah, it happened down here that it's a command. He's not Vu Rosh Am. So here it's not Vu Rosh Am. We understand to mean that volunteer after the fact, because I guess before it should have said it possibly before it's not Dave Rosh Am, before Pros B'Yisrael, the people volunteered, and then they went and they waged the war. No, so it's when you wage the war, it's not Rosh Am. Baruch Hu said Nisim to Amrim Shira. The Snadvus comes after the war. And that's what it says. He had the pasuk be Snadev before Pros Yisrael Snadev Baruch Hu Hashem. So the people should be people should be misnadev and volunteer themselves to say Shira. So again, the pasuk on the pasuk is before Pros Yisrael when there were wars in Am Yisrael, be Snadev and the nation volunteered to fight. Then Baruch Hu Hashem. But the way we're dashing it, it means when the war is in Am Yisrael, so then people should volunteer themselves to say, I guess, with great gusto, to say Shira. Hesvun asked, Haregulas Mitzrayim. What about the Gula from Egypt? So the Pei Karmei says, Haregulas Mitzrayim. V'lo Moshe Layam. They didn't say Shira right away. Said Shira only one. It's only Shira Yamsuf. Why didn't they say Shira when they left Mitzrayim? Shani Tchilas Gulason. The difference is because it's the tchila of the beginning of the gula. So the Yerushalmi Pesachim wants to say that this statement Shani Tchilas Gulason is actually what I'm going to say later on. How come they could say Shira Nesha B'chutz La'aretz. You don't say Shira Nesha B'chutz La'aretz. And the words going to say, no, there was the Tchilas Agula, right? That the first time they went out, before they entered Eretz Yisrael, so they can say even on Nesha B'chutz La'aretz. But the Pashut Pshat is that it's saying that, like Korban Eda says, that it's the Tchilas Gulas. That's answering the question that the Korban Eda explained, that it's saying that there wasn't Gemar Gula until they left the Egyptians behind by Yamsuf. So Harei Mordechai Esther, why they say Shira then? Shani Shira Hayu B'chutz La'aretz. That's when the answer is given the Bavli that it was B'chutz La'aretz, and another one is also given the Bavli. V'ista by Meimar Mordechai Esther misonem nigav lo nigum min hamachus, right? Like the Lashon the Bavli is a kate avdei Achashverosh onan. We're still the Avodah Achashverosh. So therefore, they didn't say Shira on the redemption from Haman. Of course, the Gemara in the Bavli also has the answer of Kriyas Zui Alila. But so Yerushalmi Pesachim here would be the question: so why they say on Yitzias Mitzrayim? Because it's Chiyas Gulasan. So therefore, even though it's Chutz, it's okay. Now, the Gemara asks, why should you drink between the third and fourth cup? You can drink between the first and second, third. So the Gemara asks, what do you mean? From Shukru Ba, you already drank a lot. You let him drink unlimited within the first, second, third, and certainly within the meal. So now when the Kretan is drinking, it's a little bit too late. So it says, no, it's different. When you drink without eating, it makes you drunk. In the meal, it's not shaker. My afikoman. What is afikoman? So Simon Mishem Rabbi Inai Bar of Sinai, Bar of Sisi, sorry, Mine Zemer. So we mentioned the name of Yerushalmi Pesachim yesterday, that they used to take all sorts of musical instruments to go from house to house and make merry, and after the height of the merriment and the frivolity, they used to go from house to house. So they're saying you can't do that. You have to stay in the same house. Rabbi some Rabbi Yechon, so it says we here in my Gemara. Rabbi Yechon Sika, dessert. Can't have dessert after coming like we normally conventionally understand it. Shumar Kagon Ardilai Guzlaya the Chananya Bershilas. These are the Ardilai are committees. The says too. Mushrooms and truffles, and Guzlaya, those were like little sweet chickens that they used to eat after meals. So you can't do that after. You can't do that at Pesach, after the Korban Pesach, and of course it's not as after the matzah. Okay, Yerushalmi Pesachim yochlu. If part of them fall asleep during the meal, they can continue to eat. When they woke up, everybody can continue to eat. I'm sorry, Yerushalmi Pesachim yochlu. They can eat. If they all fall asleep, that's it. They can't eat again. So Korban says that because looks, and Moshe also says that because it looks like they like eating two mekomis. It's a chumrah. It's like because of the hesach hadas of everybody falling asleep. So the Yerushalmi Pesachim yochlu, they continue eating Korban Pesach. Kulam lo yochlu, because it's as if it's two mekomis. It's nam nemu yochlu. If they were just dozing, it's okay. Near them, if they really fell asleep, lo yochlu, they can't eat. Ha Pesach achar chatzos, Korban Pesach after chatzos mitame esei yadayim. It makes your hands tame, because it has a din of noiser. Because Chazal, as Korban says, Chazal were grazer noiser should be mitame yadayim, so that people should not be lazy. So that's to say, a pigam and noiser mitame esei yadayim. If you made a bracha on the Pesach, then it exempts the zevach, it exempts the other karbanos which you're eating, the chagiga. The zevach here is the korban says the korban chayika. Shel zevel upatas haPesach. The Rabbi Shmuel. And the bracha on the zevach doesn't part the Pesach because the ikar bracha the night of Pesach is on the korban Pesach. Rabbi Akiva Omer lo zu pater zu lo zu pater zu. Neither one parts each other because neither of them is tafel to the other one. Okay, this brings us to the top of Pei Vav Amud Aleph, which is the last blot in Mesechus Pesachim. I know it's only half a blot, but we'll leave it for tomorrow.